I'm going to show you how to make this delicious gluten-free Teff bread. It's light and moist on the inside, crusty on the outside. It's super easy to make. Let's go. So the first thing you're going to do is put 560 milliliters of water in a bowl. Make sure the water is not too cold and not too hot, just room temperature. Then add 7 grams of dried yeast and sprinkle just a very small teaspoon of sugar on the yeast, and then just leave it for 5 to 10 minutes until the yeast is activated. Now, while the yeast is activating, grab another bowl, and in this bowl we're going to mix the gluten-free flours. So put 160 grams of Teff flour, 90 grams of rice flour, 160 grams of potato starch, 45 grams of cornflour or cornstarch if you're American, 45 grams of buckwheat flour, 14 grams of psyllium husk powder, and finally 10 grams of salt. And when you've got all this in the bowl, take a whisk and just gently mix the flours. This is going to make it a lot easier for you when you add the flours to the water. Because there's quite a lot of potato starch and corn flour as well, it will form lumps. So mixing the gluten-free flours beforehand makes it less lumpy and just easier to blend in the dry ingredients with the water. So now the yeast is activated. As you can see, it's sort of frothy on the surface. If you stare at it for long enough, you see little bubbles coming up. That means it's ready to go. And we're just going to add a tablespoon of olive oil, just like that. And next we will simply add our flour mix. So all the flours that you've just mixed with the whisk, just gently put them into your water and yeast. And then use a spatula and blend it all in. Make sure it's thoroughly mixed. This is the trickiest part of the recipe. Because there's quite a bit of starch, it makes a few lumps. It just takes a little time to blend it all in, but it's good for your biceps. And of course, if you've got a hand mixer, you can use that with the kneading hooks. I just personally really like to do it by hand. It gets a little bit of exercise into my day. Okay, and there you go. As you can see, you have a beautiful bread dough. It is fairly runny and liquid. This is completely normal for gluten-free bread. And this dough has a lovely dark color, and that is because of the Teff flour. Next, you're simply going to take a cake tin, quite a big cake tin for this recipe. Make sure you line it with non-stick baking paper and simply pour the bread dough into the cake tin. If you want to, of course, you can line 2 smaller cake tins and divide the dough in between 2 cake tins. That way you get 2 loaves for the price of 1. That works fine too. Okay, now we are going to let this rise. It has to rise just about to the top of the cake tin. Now to do this, I suggest you simply place your cake tin into your cold oven. Please make sure your oven is cold, with a bowl of steaming hot water, and then you close the oven door. It will help it rise beautifully. If, like me, you have a steam oven, you can simply put your cake tin into the oven and set it to the rise setting. That's even easier. Okay, so let's let that bread rise, and I'll see you in about an hour. So there you go. Look at this. The dough has risen beautifully. When it's like that, take it out of the oven, obviously, or wherever you're letting it rise. Heat your oven up at 200 degrees Celsius and then put your bread loaf into the oven and bake it for 35 minutes. So after 30 minutes, take your bread out of the oven, but the baking is not finished. Don't turn the oven off. Here's what you're going to do. Simply take the bread out of the cake tin. Careful not to burn yourselves. Everything is hot. And then pull the sides of the non-stick baking paper down. And next, put the bread back into the oven for another 15 to 20 minutes. That is going to ensure that it's crusty all around, not just on top, but also on the sides and at the bottom. At this stage, I usually set my oven to the fan setting. So the first 30 minutes, I put my oven at normal setting. You know, it's just a convection oven, it's all normal. And then for the last bit, I set it to the fan heat because it circulates a little bit better in the oven and it makes the bread really nice and crusty, which is what I absolutely love. So it's up to you. You can keep the oven on at its normal setting, or you can turn it on to the fan setting. Both will work really equally well. So after 15 to 20 minutes, there you go. Your bread is ready. Just take it out of the oven. And now, very important, just let it cool down before you start cutting it and eating it, because you do want it to cool down completely to be able to slice it properly. Okay, so there you go. The bread has cooled down. It's time to cut a slice. Look at this. It's seriously absolutely beautiful. Okay, let's slice it. Look at this. Look at the color. Look at how lovely, and it's holding together, but it's light as well. It's risen beautifully. I think it's going to taste delicious. Okay, so it's tasting time. I love my bread with a bit of almond butter. Makes it taste just really nice, and it's also super healthy. So I'm going to spread a little bit of almond butter on my nice fresh gluten-free Teff bread, and I'm going to taste. Of course, you can put ordinary butter, you can put jam, you can put cheese, you can put salad, you can put meat, you can put anything on that bread, right? You can use it for sandwiches, for picnics. My whole family adores this bread, even the non-celiac ones, right? So it's really a super versatile bread. Let's taste it. I tell you what, the Teff gives it a real bread taste. I can't quite explain, but it really reminds me of gluten bread, right? That I used to eat, of like dark bread that I used to go and buy fresh from the bakery locally here. It's really delicious. It tastes slightly nutty, not too strong a taste. It's really, really delicious. I hope you like it as much as we all do. If you enjoyed this recipe and found it valuable, the free and super easy way you can support this channel is to hit the like and the subscribe button. That would help me and mean to me more than you will ever know. And if you enjoyed this recipe, my guess is you'll enjoy this one next. Thanks so much for watching. Bye for now.